French food defeated me. And I would order everything that he had ordered the day before. And the day before, when he ordered it, it was perfect. And when I ordered it, it was like coming alive on my plate.
Bro.
I swear, the last meal I'm eating this stupid thing and I can't even cut it. And I started crying.
It's time to come home at that point.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. And welcome back. How do you say welcome back?
I don't know. Hi. Welcome back to Moment of Silence podcast. I'm Naina Bhan.
I'm Sakshi Shabdasani.
And one of us has gotten a lobotomy. Comment down which one.
Comment down. One of us got a lobotomy and one of us got a lobotomy. One of us just came back from France.
Yes.
It's not the one with the most Lokhandwala accent in the room. How was your trip, Naina?
Oh, it was too good. I have to say, I've also been working with suitcases for the last month because I'm a backpacker.
A jet setter.
A jet setter.
Don't say backpacker. She upgraded to business on all her flights. How dare you?
One flight. For the first time in my life, I upgraded to business on my own.
And the first person she messaged as soon as she made what she thinks is a stupid purchase.
No, that's not. Every time I make I think of making a purchase that would maximize the quality of my life and would bring me the most fun, I text Sakshi. Moses knows that I will text you.
Yes.
He literally watches me like I'm some crack addict, trying to get my fix. You texted Sakshi now. And yes, because she gets it. And it's perfect. I don't have to sit and explain. If I tell my mom, she'll give me a guilt trip. If I tell my sister, she won't respond.
Me, I'm like, I don't like that I have that reputation, but I'm also obsessed that I have that reputation.
To be like a great friend.
You know, I didn't say it. No,
Yeah, fair.
I was saying okay, one of my friends had an impromptu trip and she was like, I need night suits. And I was like, babe, Myntra next day delivery.
Yeah.
And if anyone needs anything in half an hour and they can get it in
Yeah.
any capacity, I'm the gal they can ask.
That's true.
Which Longchamp bag to get, which one is most practical, which one is most impractical. I just know, what do I do with this information? I
You should
want to
become a
impart
life
it.
coach
Okay,
for women
that's pushing
in
it.
tier 1 cities who have dispensable income.
Just you.
Just me. Yeah, no, it was a great trip. I'm in my healing era. It's a decade. It's my entire
Is
life.
it the beginning of your healing era? Is
It's
it the end?
I think it's the end.
Healed.
I'm healed.
Damn.
Done.
Call him back and tell him there is an end to therapy.
Oh.
He who must not be named. Anyway, Paris.
Yeah, Paris. So I'd been to Paris last year with Natasha and my sister, and we were there for 3 days. And I was like, okay, यहाँ पे कुछ है. I want to come back to this city. And Parisians have a pretty bad rap, and they're known as not the most kind. But I don't know, they were really kind to me last year, and they were super kind to me this year.
That's the
And-
plot of Emily in Paris.
I honestly, and it was like this romantic getaway, and it was honestly it felt like a rom-com. It felt like I had first my kindest manager had made sure that no one messages me. Second, my kindest Moss pod had made sure that no one, and even if they didn't, I didn't respond. That
No.
no one, but Sakshi held fort. Everyone held fort. We got more views while I was away. So I'm wondering if I bring anything to this podcast.
Just shut the fuck up.
So and it was beautiful. I felt, and of course in Europe the days are so long. You really can maximize. I imbibed Sakshi's culture and I walk 20k steps every day.
Isn't it amazing?
It's amazing.
You've literally lived how I live my life because doesn't it feel amazing to ignore work texts? Be honest.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
It's great.
You should do it more often.
I will do it now.
Yeah.
Now that I've been told that it's possible, and we only do much better when I'm ignoring work.
I'm like, hey, you want to stop responding? No, don't come to shoot.
No, but every day I feel so grateful that I've managed to figure out a life where I can take these breaks, where there is a system of people around me that encourage me to take breaks.
Yeah.
And that's insane. Like, that's a fantasy beyond anything I could imagine.
I love that for you. What was the best thing you ate?
So I have to say, the thing that made me feel most patriotic in France was that I cannot do French food. I love Indian food. I love rice. And I missed it. I didn't get a chance to eat it,
Thank
but
God.
I can't do French food. My last meal in France, I swear to you, I was having a carpaccio and I took a bite. And it's not like the carpaccio in Mumbai. I couldn't swallow. So I started gagging in the restaurant.
Stop.
And I was at a fine dining restaurant. Moses was like, just take it down. I was like, I don't know how to. And every time I swallow, I'm like, so finally I spat it in a napkin. And as any good boyfriend would, I made him take it to the loo and
Dispose of it.
yeah, I couldn't do it. But the best meal I ate, we went to this place called Giverny, which is where Monet, who is a like impressionist painter, lived. And we were cycling down this 8-kilometer bike path like around the cornfields, and we stopped at this one chalet, and this Armenian architect had taken it on, and he lives there with his mother, and they run like a B&B and a restaurant, and everything is grown in the garden. Peaches, figs, there's grapes. So you went in, he gave you a basket. He's like, you can cut your favorite grapes and I'll make you
I
a
love
drink out of that. So he made us like this Armenian roast and this like grape aid. And it was-
Wine?
yeah, like a grape fizzy wine, and we just sat there, and it was, I don't know, I was just like, this can't be my life, but it is.
It is.
Yeah.
I love that for you.
That was the best meal.
Yeah, surprisingly, the only time I've gagged while eating food is also while eating French food. I made the mistake of ordering again at a very fancy restaurant. The main course in the set menu was pigeon.
Oh.
And the guy was like, most people can't take it. And like something about me is like, if someone says, oh, this is like, you won't be able to handle this food, I'm like, I'm an adventurous eater.
Yeah.
But it literally tasted like pigeon smell. And I was like, I can't do this. So I just sat there and I the
Dude,
whole time.
That's the thing, because like Moses was like, तेरे से नहीं होगा French food. I was like, तू कौन है?
Croissant तो खाया है
I was
मैंने.
like, तू होता कौन है मुझे बोले? I'm the most adventurous eater.
Yeah.
So you can't do it. And I would order everything that he had ordered the day before. And the day before when he ordered it, it was perfect. And when I ordered it, it was like coming alive on my plate.
Bro.
I swear, the last meal I'm eating this stupid thing, and I can't even cut it, and I started crying.
Stop.
And I was like, no one will know that French food defeated me.
It's time to come home at that point. That was the end of your trip. I was gonna die if you said you went to Saravana Bhavan. Sarvana Bhavan.
No, I didn't.
Thank
I did the
God.
next thing that I could. I went and had Chinese food. Because I was like, at least यहाँ पे चावल है. मुझे एक बोल चावल दे दो. बस मेरे को
You're
और
a
कुछ नहीं
chawal
चाहिए.
gal.
I'm a चावल gal.
I'm a big bread gal.
I can't do bread.
I
just
love
found out.
bread.
I'm gluten intolerant. I found out in France. You wanna know how? No, I'm kidding.
No. I
No
just
one
don't
needs to
believe
know.
it.
Dude, even I didn't believe it. I kept scarfing down the bread, and then I was in the
Being a
worst
little
state.
constipated does not mean you have gluten intolerance.
It's not a little.
Being a lot constipated does not mean you have a gluten intolerance.
And then I reached
It
out to
just
my
means,
other friend.
hey, have you heard my friend says you should really eat fiber? You shouldn't overdo it.
When I
Have
want
a
to make an
vegetable.
impractical decision that brings me joy, I text Sakshi. And when I want to make a practical decision to end like my delusional behavior, I text my other friend, who immediately was like, go to the pharmacy, ask them for a laxative.
Isabgol. Bro,
Yeah.
I'm a big like carrying whatever can make you shit on vacation. It has to like I wake up early and I just start prepping to poop.
I I don't know how to do it.
What do you mean you wake up early, you chug a liter of water, you do 10,000 steps, drink a coffee, you're ready to roll.
I can't do it.
Life hacks. You just know my life now.
My only thing was I was dehydrated the whole time because
Oh.
I didn't want to drink water, because if I drank water I would have to sit down and buy a coffee so that I could use the loo, and that's
Yeah.
like you just like overpaying to take a piss.
Stop.
Yeah. So I'm like, no, we won't drink water, we'll be fine, we'll be okay. Gave myself a UTI in the first 2 days. And then I was just like crying.
And then you're getting more dehydrated with the tears.
Yeah, it was so bad. And of course, like there are certain things that Sakshi and I don't pack on vacation. One is a toothbrush.
Yeah.
We don't pack face
But
wash.
I started packing toothbrushes and toothpaste when I go to Airbnbs. They're fucking notorious for not like I'm not gonna use my finger.
So I didn't pack my toothbrush. I didn't pack my face wash, and I didn't pack my cream.
Stop.
I did not pack cream, and I woke up every day so swollen and dehydrated, and I was just wishing I had taken my Pond Super Light Gel.
Dude, and it's the worst because वहाँ पे you don't even have like e-com like quick commerce, so you just had to raw dog your
I
skin.
raw dogged my skin the whole time. The only thing I could do was like, okay, I could do other things, but what I decided to do was go to different stores and get samples, and then like,
You could definitely do other things actually.
and I was just squeezing my sample and like using it.
I like how earlier we used to be like, oh, when Indians travel abroad, they miss their jet spray. And now
Yeah.
it's like, hey, my Pond Super Light Gel is back.
Next time I take a holiday, I am gonna pack my Pond Super Light Gel and
Toothbrush gaya bhar mein.
yeah. I came back home, took a shower, lay down, made a mask out of the gel, put it on my face, and I slept like that.
Does your skin feel thirsty still?
Yes, my skin feels much better.
You know, you've come back to the rainiest city in the world. So now, like, I don't know if Ponds is sponsoring the sky also, because how is there so much water in the clouds to give? But at least your skin has drank up the Pond Super Light Gel and you are looking hydrated. If you're not, you can always go stand outside and pre-game on this rain. I'm so sick of this fucking rain. I'm like disgusted. Like I know I said, and I know you're not gonna call out that I said I am nourished by the rain. But people change, things change. Skincare routines don't, because I am using the Pond Super Light Gel and this is like genuinely a genuine plug. But the rain needs to stop. I can't do this. Today I had to hold a plastic bag over my head when I got into my cab. To
This is what keeps you humble.
you know, I have fallen this
Yeah.
week holding a bag of hot shit. So I don't need lessons to be humble. So sorry. And my dog attacked me because he thought I was like, gonna fall on him or something. He got surprised.
I'm having the Katrina Kaif kind of humbling experience, from that movie.
That one.
The one where they go like scuba diving.
Ye Jawani. No, Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara.
Yeah, because we also, before Paris, we went to Phuket for Mridama's birthday. And for her birthday, we got a catamaran, which is like
Yeah.
a small boat that we chartered out.
Our audience knows what a catamaran.
I didn't know what it was till
I
Sakshi
can't believe
said it.
she's mansplaining catamarans to y'all guys.
I didn't know what it was till Sakshi said it, so maybe you're like me. But basically, we took this boat out and we went to like a coral reef, and the water was beautiful. And when I slid into it from an inflatable slide that was on this
I
catamaran,
love that.
I was like, life is amazing,
Yeah, the last time my friends and I jumped into the ocean, two of us almost drowned. So we're
That's-
having very different lives right
Yeah,
now.
that's-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that for you though.
Thank you.
Yeah. When is my luck coming back?
What about Seychelles? What happened in Seychelles?
Dude, okay. So we wanted to go to Phuket, but
Yeah.
our last trip had also been Phuket, so we were like, let's be adventurous, but not adventurous enough to apply for visas.
Yeah.
And we were like, Seychelles is visa free and the flights are really cheap. Everything else is super duper expensive in Seychelles. One cab ride was 10,000 rupees. And then we just kept having like bad luck. Like we did this hike, it was 10,000 rupees per person. And the bitch didn't talk to us the entire time. She was just like chugging her drink and walking. And it was like a steep hike. She didn't tell us to wear shoes. We thought it was going to be like a hike. It was a trek. And then we reach on top and it's a rock pool hike. She's like, by the way, you can't jump in the pool.
What was the point?
Exactly. And we have spent 30,000 rupees to figure out that there was no point. Then we paid for a catamaran and we're waiting at the pickup point for like 25 minutes. No one is answering our calls. There's no one. Then we finally get through and they're like, actually, the pickup point is listed wrong.
Oh no.
So we walked 20 minutes to the pickup point. We get into the water for snorkeling. The waves are too big. So we were like, okay, we want to come back up. But the boat engine stops working. And Karima was wearing a life jacket. So the boat just kept going towards her and she couldn't go down because she was wearing a life jacket. So she got injured. And then somehow they picked me up.
How did she get injured? It's like the boat
The
hit her.
boat hit her.
Jesus.
The boat has hit her. And then I somehow got picked up, but then the boat just kept going in a direction. But Alia was still in the ocean. And the waves were really big. And it was really bad. And then we had like a life raft, like the lifeguard, the coast guard has come and picked her up and dropped us off. And then, because our boat engine wasn't working, we got clubbed in with another boat with the most innocent looking family in the world, and we were in our thong bikinis. And that family was from Bombay. There were like two like boys, 10 and 15 years old types. The dad was sitting not facing us only. He was like, fuck it. The mom and like a nani or a dadi. Okay, and they were literally wearing the, like sleeves wala swimming costume. And I was literally wearing a thong. And then I was like, should I like not put sunscreen on to save this nice family from seeing this? But then I was like, I don't want a tan.
Fair.
So then I made Karima rub sunscreen on my ass. And this family will never unsee that. But sun protection is important. So what am I supposed to do?
So we were in Phuket for 3 days. And I remember the last time that we went to Phuket and we were having like the Haribo gummies.
Gummies, yeah.
We had a really nice time. So they
Yeah.
go, I only have 3 days. I need to like
Yeah.
enter and exit, So I went and I bought like a Haribo cookie.
I love it.
And and had this cookie. I was like, okay, let me have like half of the cookie,
Yeah.
I was peckish. Had half the cookie. I was chilling. Then I was like, okay, let me have a little quarter more. Ate it. Nothing happened. And there was like one sliver left. And I was like,
It's
what am I
bad
gonna? Yeah,
luck.
it's bad luck. You have to. How can you just leave
Finish a
a cookie? What if the
cookie.
ants get to it? So I had the whole cookie, and then I was like,
Cooked.
I cooked. I was in bed. I couldn't sleep. Okay, I had to hold on to the sides of my bed. I started having a panic attack. I started
Amazing.
having like anxiety to the point where I was taking a selfie, and we had this beautiful villa on a cliff. So there was forest on the other side, and I was taking a selfie, and I was like, "There's going to be a shooter in the frame. I know if I look back at the selfie, there's going to be a spirit in the frame behind me. Someone's coming to kill me. I'm alone, and I don't
I
have a
love
weapon."
that.
And I was just like, I felt like I was on a spaceship.
Bro, honestly, I'm sure it was a 10 on 10 experience.
It was a 10 on 10 experience in the way that it was super visceral. And then after that, I was so mute that everyone on the
Bro.
trip thought that I don't talk. They're like, ye baat hi nahi karti. I
Bro.
was like, how to tell you that I'm bajaud like right now? It's too bad.
We must have spoken 3 words in Phuket, like total, which was half of them were like, you wanna? You wanna? That's all we have done in Phuket, and honestly, I feel like I'm only gonna travel to Phuket now.
Yeah.
Like, I was so sad when like people were like, "Oh, let's go anywhere else." I'm like, no. Now I'm actually planning a Phuket trip
You
right now.
must.
Yeah.
And if you can, and if you're turning 30, I think Ridhima can attest to this. If you can, rent a catamaran and go out into the water. It's the most beautiful experience.
I agree.
Yeah.
But it's
30.
go to Yona.
If you're 30 years old, you can spend like you and
Of
your friends.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very niche thing to
It's a-
recommend to the audience. But you do you.
Thanks.
Who am I to
Someone called me an acquired taste, and I'm an
who called
acquired.
you an acquired?
Someone like
taste?
comments like, I didn't understand you before, but now over time I've realized, like, yeah, because I give advice like rent a yacht.
No,
Some
I do
of-
love that though.
Yeah.
I would also want this. But if I was our audience and some bitch on the internet was like, rent a yacht,
Yeah, no shit.
I would be like, okay.
No shit.
But as someone who's renting yachts, I'm like, that's great advice. I feel like my new thing is I want to be relatable.
My new thing is, let me just tell you what my life actually is.
Yeah, I
It's
feel like
okay.
you were trying to pose as relatable for a long time. I feel like now I want to be relatable. But I don't know how to be relatable.
You fell on the street with shit in your hand.
That I hope that's not relatable.
very
Like that's the pits. And then after that also when I was getting up and I was limping away, the watchman was like, "Ma'am, aapka ye gir gaya." Then I had to go hobble back and pick up the plastic bag, and then I had to.
Have you ever been fooled by that trick? गिर गया गिर गया गिर गया आपका कुछ गिर गया दाम गिर गया never.
Is she trying to be relatable again? Because this is not the
Back in my day,
Dam gir gaya.
like you go to Hill Road or like Sarojini or whatever, and you're walking in the street when it's like, आपका गिर गया, and then you're like,
Oh.
what? And he's like, दाम गिर गया.
I love
Never.
that. No, I've never heard this.
When I was relatable and broke.
No,
This was
I
an
fall for the. Did it hurt?
when
When you fell from heaven. Do cheesy pickup lines work on you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody's really, again, hit on me in a very long time. Not because like I'm unhittable on, but because I'm in a relationship.
That
But
doesn't stop people. You're being humble.
I mean, I don't talk to anyone, so क्या ही बात करेंगे मेरे से?
I've seen the emails.
No, but I think like, yeah, 100% cheesy pickup line from someone I'm into, for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm also in my mid 30s, there's like no lightness in like a man or a woman in their mid 30s going out to date, because you already come with like so much baggage. You come with this sense of who you want to be. You come with a sense of boundaries that you want to set because your previous relationships have done XYZ to you. I don't want to be in with my mommy issues, my daddy issues. I don't want to get married. I want to have a child. I want to be in like a civil relationship. I don't want to live with you. I don't want to take care of your parents. Blah, blah, blah.
And you did your first couple trip.
No, I'm
so
saying,
how did it go?
I'm saying most like 30-year-olds come with like this, like a freedom that they've pined towards, that they don't want to lose, but a connection that you want to build, because men and women are not lonely creatures. You want companionship. And the trip in that context was really lovely, because being in Mumbai, and I think both of us have like been through like a very big curve with like struggling and establishing our life and new systems and patterns. And then so much happened in my life, like last year was really hard, even on a relationship. Like no one talks about how grief and things like that affect like the
Relationships, yeah.
relationship, because you require so much from someone else that the other person gets kind of lost. And they can potentially feel guilty for asking for attention, because like dude. So it was really nice to be outside of like deliverables and this and that, and to really reconnect with somebody and remember why you got together in the first place, and how magnetic that the chemistry is, and how you genuinely really enjoy each other as a person. And I think it's really nice when you see your partner from a distance, and they do things that you find like inspiring. So for example, Moses is really knowledgeable about fragrance. So whenever we went to like a store or something where we were going to like these niche perfume houses, and they like he would start talking, and he would have like 2 hour long conversations with like the person on the other side, and they were like having so much communication about like fragrance and where this is from and who this perfumer is, etc. I was like, wow, that's so cool. Like that's something that
That's
I
true
don't
love.
know. Yeah.
To sit for 2 hours while someone talks about
Fair. I
something.
mean, yeah, for sure. But it's like I also feel happy. I'm like, where do you get to do this?
Fair.
You're getting to do this, and it's like a conversation about skill and curiosity, which we don't generally have. Like
Yeah.
most of our time is spent trying to rot after a long day, after a hectic day. You only talk about shit. Like it's
One
nice.
man's shit is another man's gold. But did you
yeah.
do the lock bridge also?
No, we didn't do the lock bridge. We didn't,
I'm joking.
I was thinking, should I vlog the trip? I was thinking, should I do a bunch of these things? I was like, no, I really, really want this just
You
for
didn't
myself.
vlog? Sorry.
No, I didn't vlog. I just really wanted this trip for myself, and I already put so much of myself out there on the internet. थोड़ा तो अपने लिए रखना पड़ेगा.
I'm planning a trip with a guy and he was like, I don't want to be in your vlog, and
Hmm.
I'm so stressed.
Yeah, it's really tough to
Because I am gonna vlog.
yeah. Somehow, like if you find a partner that is very private, which my partner is
Disgusting.
very private, to the point where I have said I'm in a relationship with this person multiple times, and each time I put up a photo of us together, like hot teeth.
Yeah.
Nana's announced who she's with. I'm like,
No, I'm also surprised every time. I'm like, wait, what? They're together?
shut the fuck up.
Like, who knew?
Yeah, but no, it's really nice, and I think that there's a lot of conversation that keeps coming in. We talk a lot every week on the podcast, and it's very difficult for you to follow then what is your own intuition, especially with like your life, your relationships, and you have to do only what works for you. That's
So fair. And my intuition is to vlog everything. Like,
Yeah,
I genuinely
fair.
think, like, firstly, I don't like men on social media.
yeah,
But I also like vlogging. So I'm dealing with, like, a dilemma.
it's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, like even now I feel like, have I overshared something that, again, not because I'm sharing any like mysterious information, but because I like to respect someone's privacy that they hold so close to heart. But they're +1 of me, so अब तो बात तो करनी पड़ेगी भाई. What to do?
I agree.
Yeah.
I don't believe in privacy. I'm just like, it's over. Like, someone says, I don't want to be in your vlog. I'm like, I don't want you anyway.
I kind of like it.
When someone says, I don't want to, it's
Yeah.
fine, but then you handle your angles and all. Don't come in my frame. I'm not going to blur anyone out. But that's why I don't vlog in public spaces and all, because I'm like, who wants to deal with the janjat?
Yeah.
But like, every time I do a trip and I vlog it, it's like I'm my own biggest fan. I keep watching it.
But because you're genuinely entertaining.
I think it's also because I like reliving the memories. So I'm like vlogging for myself. So then when someone's like, I don't want to be there, I forget that they were there. I'm like, oh,
Fair. Actually,
never happened.
if you have like a private account on social media, you should make vlogs from trips and stuff, because it's so lovely to look back. Every time I make a travel vlog and I watch it back, I'm like, oh my god, what a time.
It's like a home video for
But-
people to see.
Yeah, and now every time I go on vacation, I have this like thing of like, oh, you're only going to be young this one time. This is the youngest you're going to be in Paris. It's, now when I'm walking, I keep thinking, I'm like, okay, in a couple of years, maybe I won't be able to walk 20K,
Shut the fuck up.
I swear, but this is how I think about life. Like, I'm like,
Inter-
I want to nichodo every moment for what it is.
You have to think about it like, oh my god, this time I'm in Paris, I'm walking 20K steps with the love of my life.
Yeah.
Next time I'll be there with the love of my life and a stroller. Or a Birkin, whatever your goals are. Like, it doesn't have to be a stroller. You have to think about, like, next time it's going to be even better.
I think I'm having an eczema flare.
Weren't you talking about freezing your eggs?
I was. That's also something I was thinking about on this trip. About my eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, it's, again, how much of your life is fed to you and how much of your life do you actually want? Now, I'm really enjoying this life. If I put a
Yeah.
stroller into it, I'm thinking about where to put the stroller. where it's a whole
Yeah.
other life. And I mean, of course, I make a lot of jokes about IVF and stuff. It's not the the best.
I didn't even know they were jokes.
No, I mean they were half serious, half
Oh.
jokes. But only if my life is going in that direction will I actually do it. I think for a long time I was pressurizing myself, and I might have a different opinion tomorrow because I did just come back from a Parisian vacation.
Like me with the rain.
Yeah,
If she's
exactly.
allowed to change her mind about
I'm allowed.
IVF.
Yeah, it's
But
a
I
big
thought
decision.
freezing eggs is so that you can wait for the decision.
Yeah.
So then,
I'll figure it out.
yeah, I'm sure you will. I'm
Yeah.
not saying. I also fluctuate on that because there's so many things to figure out with motherhood. Fatherhood is like whatever.
Yeah.
You just do it or you don't. But like motherhood is like my career, my body, my brains, my brain
Yeah.
fog, my hormones, my child.
What if my nose flares up?
I can't afford that, unfortunately, at this moment. But more than anything, it's like, what if my kid has mommy issues?
Your
Because
kid will
every
have
kid
mommy
has
issues.
daddy issues. No?
No, I think we're 50% daddy and 50% mommy issues.
I think I'm more daddy issues than mommy issues.
Yeah.
I think most people have more daddy issues. Mommy issues are like rarer. I don't want to give someone mommy issues.
You think
know?
Sushi doesn't have mommy issues?
I think Sushi has mommy solutions. I don't think he has issues. I think he sees me and there's like a halo radiating from my head. But at the same time, if he decides to get married, I'll be really happy for him. Unfortunately, he can't make that decision for himself.
One really nice thing that I liked about Paris was that for the first time I was in an environment after a long time that believes in natural beauty. People around, like, I don't know, there weren't women following trends around me. I didn't see one lip injected. I didn't see one like Botoxed face. It was really peaceful.
I think their work is just better than what you're used to.
No. You think I can't tell if someone's had work?
I think you're a little bit jaded in your lover girl era, is what I.
It's my niche. Like, I literally sit and I look at like
yeah
the best work, undetectable work, how to balance your face, etc., etc.
Yeah. My favorite thing about Paris is how much they smoke.
They've actually stopped smoking that much. I swear I felt like there were more people smoking in Mumbai than I saw in
Yeah,
Paris.
Mumbai is the Paris of the East. They all say that. Haven't you seen the Eiffel Tower in
In Mumbai?
Mahalakshmi?
Yeah, of course.
Kanakya Paris, the building
Yes,
in VKC
of
has
course,
an Eiffel Tower.
Of course.
But if you don't want to do that, there's a Kanakya Miami. There's a Kanakya Hollywood.
Kanakya takes you places.
You know, just put down 3 crores and Kanakya can take you to any city in the world.
Why has this become a Kanakya plug?
No, I don't think they will be very impressed by this plug, so we're
Fair.
good. Yeah.
Fair. Ooh, I love vintage shopping. Thrifting.
Same.
Thrifting in Paris is like unparalleled.
Dude, I'm surprised. Like, did you do any like luxury shopping?
No, I didn't.
I'm surprised.
I don't know. I just wanted to eat and chill. I didn't go
I
with
agree,
like
but
a-
I feel like so for the first time, and I know this is like not my thing, but I'm gonna insert myself. Like usually when someone goes to Europe, I'm like I have a list ready. But even this time when you asked me what do you want, I was like,
I
nothing
wish you
for me.
told me because there was it was really difficult to figure, but there's a lot of different things available.
Yeah, but for the first time, like I haven't bought anything luxury in 2025.
How come?
I just haven't been feeling it, but I am looking to purchase a house. So Kanakya. If you're interested. Yeah.
Fair. But the one feeling that I had when I was in Paris, I was like rickshaw hoti to din ban jata.
Bro, firstly, I genuinely think rickshaws are the best invention in the world.
Too good.
Like, how can we live in a world without rickshaws is beyond me.
Like, I don't mind if walking is an option, but it
Yeah.
can't be the only option.
And cars are not cutting it.
They're not.
And rickshaws. Like every time I go to South Bombay, I want to cry Because how can you not have rickshaws? They're so convenient. They're always there. They're always. I love rickshaws. Like, I feel like there's no reason to take a car.
I don't like cars. I think rickshaws are the one thing that I don't know. I have to like owe a lot of my independence to rickshaws because they're so like cost effective. I learned every city I go to. If I can only learn the road if I sit in a rickshaw. Like that's it. Just makes me feel so in control of myself.
It's
to take
like microdosing a bike.
yeah, and the rickshaw drivers are the nicest.
They're the sweetest people. Any city you go to, rickshaw drivers are just like, they're the backbone of the city.
Yeah.
I will go as far as to say. But if they say no to me, I will cry. So it's a tough balance. But yeah, I feel like Paris, what Paris needs is a rickshaw.
I think so.
Yeah. Y'all took the Scandinavian scarf. Now take the rickshaw. I feel like rickshaw, you know how like in New York, those horse carriages are a thing? Replace that with a rickshaw.
But then you have to keep it at rickshaw price.
Of course.
They don't keep it at rickshaw price. That's
What
the
do you
issue.
mean?
Like it becomes like one of those like exotic things, like those guys who pull the carts or cycle carts in London. They're really expensive.
I've never seen that. Maybe
Ignore
I've
it.
just.
I am the girl who took an entire spring vacation in black. I only wore black, and it was a commitment that I made.
All my cousins and I were like, Moses is going to propose on this trip.
I think it's because Moses was only dressed in suits and he was looking pretty dapper.
No, yeah, yes. But
Yeah.
we were like, oh my God, this is their first trip. It's in the city of love. And like, I don't know anything about Moses. Okay, he's this mysterious entity. But I just thought he was going to propose.
Yeah.
So,
I
any
don't know what to say.
update?
No. None at all.
She is wearing one on her. That's your ring?
No, I God forbid. This was my ring.
Oh my God, did you see Ronaldo's fiance Georgina and her ring?
No,
It's the fattest diamond I've ever seen.
I haven't looked at anything on the internet in 2 weeks. What's
Oh.
happening? Update me on the trends.
Ronaldo got engaged to his longtime girlfriend Georgina.
I thought Ronaldo had a wife.
I also thought he had a wife,
They
but
had
he
a
got
full reality
engaged to
show.
his long-term girlfriend Georgina. In fact, fun fact, Ronaldo moved to Saudi Arabia because he got sponsored by a club there and live-in relationships were illegal there. But then they rewrote the rule to be like only Ronaldo is allowed to be in a live-in relationship. Don't ask why I know this.
Yeah, why? Okay.
Don't ask.
That's insane.
Yeah, so the constitution or whatever, like the rule book there is, literally says no live-in relationships, brackets, unless you're Cristiano Ronaldo. Not the same terminology. I'm not a lawyer. I'll tell you all that much in case you all were confused. So Ronaldo got engaged. There is some major e-lafda happening in the rebel kid world,
Oh.
which I don't know the facts on, so I'm going to keep my mouth shut. I'm a fan of everyone involved. Don't come at me. I'm not ready, guys. I'm having a kachra on kachra life right now. And then what else is happening on the internets of the world? I think Hailey Bailey broke up with her boyfriend.
Okay. Selena Gomez is struggling with marriage pressure, wedding pressure.
Aren't we all? Oh my God, my parents are also asking me if I want to see guys for Shadi.
Yeah, and I thought we were going to see some guys for Shadi.
Were we?
Yeah, didn't you give some like massive list and then
It was not a massive list, and I've said it already on the pod. So, but if for context, Naina's sister and I are around the same age, and we have both come to the conclusion that there are no good guys. Yeah, you heard it here first.
I'm waiting to meet her to understand what's up.
Me.
No, my
Meera.
sister.
Oh. I was like, "Wait, I'm right
But the
here."
only thing I do know is that whenever there are any like dude related reels, man speak, Meera and Sakshi Shivdasani have both hearted all of the badass ones.
Yeah. Like, I've been getting like a lot of people are sending me like when you see a banger reel and you want to send it to that one person, but they've already liked it. I'm the friend that's already
That's
liked
true.
it. Like, I feel like first the reel gets uploaded, it comes on my For You page. And I'm not even like a scroller. Like, I've stopped using Instagram that much.
That's not even true.
It is.
You,
My screen time is more on WhatsApp than it is on Instagram. Can you imagine? And I don't use WhatsApp.
tell me something. If nothing memorable happens in life, like 2 weeks go by, you're like, I actually did nothing to report back. What does that make you feel?
Life moves on. Like, I'm not living my life to entertain people.
But a lot of your life and entertaining people is like, it doesn't come into conflict because you make vlogs, because
Yeah.
you have this podcast.
Yeah,
a-
but I feel like all of it is something I'm doing for myself, and I'm happy that people enjoy it. But like, if nothing is going on, I'm like in my sleeper mode. Like, I'm okay. I'm not gonna invent problems or entertainment just because like my life is on display, right? Like, there's times when there's so much happening, I can't catch a break.
Yeah.
There's times that nothing is happening where I'm like, okay, this is my cool down time. Like, I'm not fussed about it. Like, right now I actually don't want things to happen. Like, I'm okay. I'm like happy. Like, you know, when things aren't happening, because I feel like a lot of things happen which can be good or bad. But at least I'm neutral right now.
I ask because, again, what comes out on the internet, even with this podcast or vlogs or anything, is like that specific time between action and cut. So it is kind of pushed together to seem more entertaining than one's life really is. And again, an audience taking this in, then moving to another platform to take something else in, then moving to another
Yeah.
platform to take something else in, especially at a time when they're really vulnerable, they're in their homes, may feel like FOMO, may feel like, oh, I'm not doing enough in my life.
But no one is doing enough. Like, you watch a trailer, it's always fun. The
Yeah.
movies are not always fun. Like, I'm not a fun person. Like, I'm just sitting at home doing nothing half the time.
Yeah.
So if like I was literally thinking, do you know, like, people talk to themselves? I apparently it's very common. I just, like, if I'm home alone for 4 days, I don't even say like a good boy to sushi or something. I can just go like weeks without talking.
Yeah.
So I just feel like I'm like, when I am being entertaining, I'm performing, and I'm sure you feel that also.
Yeah.
Like, no one wants to be entertaining
All the time.
ever.
I mean, I'm coming out of it on the other end.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, it's okay. It's okay if people are not smiling. It's okay if somebody's disinterested. It's okay if somebody's like switches off from your conversation.
I've been chasing like a switch off, I think.
You
I'm-
want people to switch off?
I actually, you know what it is? Like, when you're on your A game, it's really fun. But then when you're down and you're doing the pod or something, you know, the comments are going to be like, oh, Sakshi's having an off week.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I'm already anticipating the comments. So I'm like, should I even try to say anything? You know, or should I eat a big spicy chicken wrap? Yeah. But no, I don't have any upside to this. I tried. That's all that matters, is trying. Do you believe it's better to try and fail or to never try at all?
100% try and fail.
But how many times do you fail before you call it quits?
I've never failed.
Okay. That ends that conversation.
I don't think that I think I've come close to hitting the ground. I've come close to the end scrape. And that's, I think, what's held me back, because I'm scared. Like, I'm okay to suck at something, but if I fail at it, I would feel like shit. And that's something I'm trying to overcome, because
Yeah, but I'm also asking because, see, the industry that we're in involves a lot of luck.
yeah.
There are people far more talented than us not getting a platform just because of sheer luck.
Yeah.
Now, okay, I'm not saying I'm not saying influencers are talented. I'm saying our talent is being entertaining, right?
Yeah.
So what I like, there's a lot of people trying to make it, and what time should they call it quits? Because like, I think the numbers of the people that come to Bombay to make it are so vast, and only like 0.1% of the people make it. So when should people go home?
I think that when you stand outside of, like, say, like if I'm standing here and I'm thinking, okay, should I try some, like, a new skill? Should I try karate? And how many times can I do karate or try before I should call it quits and say that this is not going to be my career? It's pretty black and white when I'm standing outside it. But when I start embarking on a journey of learning that skill, things become so gray, so much knowledge comes in. I might from that pick up a different skill. Maybe I'll figure out that actually from this, I really enjoy the aspect of being able to control my body, and maybe I might go into like a somatic practice instead, or maybe I'll get into like the tai chi aspect of healing. Or I think like the more you broaden your horizon, is it takes you to like different places that you wouldn't know if you hadn't tried anything at all. So you start something and your metric is like, will I fail at this or succeed at this? But when you're in that journey, it opens up like way more options than you had before. So in that way, I feel like you cannot fail.
Right, but if I came to the city to become the next Shah Rukh Khan,
Yeah.
and then I became a Tai Chi instructor,
Yeah.
would that be because my goals changed, or would that be because I failed at becoming the next Shah Rukh Khan?
If you're going to look at it as failing at becoming the next Shah Rukh
I'm not
Khan,
looking at, I'm asking you.
yeah, I think goals changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what if like a lot of people, like their parents are able to fund them for like a couple of years and then they have to get on their own feet.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think that people should like sit at home and wait for their big break, or do you think they should work their way up?
I think you should take whatever privilege is given to you and use it to maximize your potential, like your momentum. But if you're going to sit like a rock and wait for someone to push you to the next thing and not like make the best of your what's given to you, then it's a waste of time.
But okay,
And the other side is, if you have privilege and you're not going to use it by saying, oh my god, I feel so bad, I have privilege, other people don't have privilege, and oh my god, I feel guilty, that's also useless. Because again, your whoever was like in motion to get you to that place, if you're not going to use that and do the next thing and
then
leave,
what a
what
waste.
the fucking,
Then give it to someone else.
yeah, give it to someone
Yeah.
else.
Tell your dad to adopt me.
Yeah, pretty much.
But okay, so say I want to be a YouTuber.
Yeah.
Okay. I start making videos. I've been making videos for 3 years.
Yeah.
I'm not getting any money. At that point, should I just call it quits and be like, I'll get a real job?
Why can't you get a job on the side and keep pursuing it?
No, I can. I'm just saying, like, from like another person's perspective, if this is all they want to do.
I think if you can't sustain yourself, you should pivot. I think
Yeah.
if you stop finding joy in what you're doing, you should pivot. I think if resentment builds within you for other people who are doing better than you, you should pivot. When the thing that brought you joy stops bringing you joy and you start looking at it from a lens of your ego, it's done.
Interesting.
What do you think?
I think I don't think, like, I don't measure success through like metrics like fame or money. I measure success through how much this is so fucked up. How much I'm enjoying my content at the moment is how I measure success.
Which is what it is.
And I hate my content right now.
Fuck off.
Like, no, actually, I really like my content. I feel like I'm going through a good streak. But I'm also feeling the least relevant I've ever felt. You know? But I'm okay with that. Like, I like it.
I think you're the most relevant you've ever been.
Interesting.
You can't hit me with an interesting and
No, it's like, you know, if I was relevant, would I slip? God would not let that happen to this perfect angel.
I think we've lost the point and
Yeah.
plot of this conversation.
Yeah. This is why this podcast is not relevant anymore.
This podcast is the most relevant thing that's happened to me.
I agree.
I enjoy it so much. I enjoy hanging out with you. I enjoy all the people in this room, the
Same.
family that we have built. Like, I wish when I was at my office job, I had something to come home to and just chill and brain rot to and look forward to watching. If I had Moss around that time, I would be too happy.
Yeah. I wish I had a job. No, okay. I'll be honest with y'all. Today, for some reason, this rain is giving me very 26/7 vibes. I don't know if y'all were around in Bombay, and I think that's like really fucking my like anxiety.
Fair.
So that is why I'm like off my game, and now I'm feeling very existential because I'm like, why have I built all this if I have to be at work on the fucking most flooded day of 2025? And I'm like, I not only are we at work, we have forced 20 people to come to work, so I'm feeling like a dictator. So I'm feeling damn like, and then we've ordered so much food, and these poor delivery drivers have to come in the rain, and I've not checked how much we've tipped them. So I'm feeling like very like yucky about like the luck and the privilege and all of that that's brought us here. But that's not the point of this episode. So I'm trying to be like nonchalant, but I'm feeling extremely chalant today.
I guess we're all caught up then.
Well,
Checks out.
checks out.
Okay, if by the time this episode is up and we have not made it to 100K, get us there.
Disgusting.
Please get us there.
And hype points.
Yes.
Okay, so last I checked, the number 100 video on the leaderboard in terms of hype points had 5.5 lakh hype points. Our videos got like 50,000 hype points. But if all of y'all can donate us some hype points, we can be number 100 on the leaderboard on YouTube. Spotify, you rate us, please get our rating up. But YouTube, hype our video, like it. And a lot of you aren't subscribed, and maybe after today's episode, I should shut the fuck up and not have the audacity to get y'all to subscribe. But, you know,
our microfeminism is.
they just don't like it when a woman gets subscribers.
Yeah.
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 What else to say?
Chalo.
Disgusting. Appalled at my behavior.
We're so close to 100 episodes. We're so close to our second year anniversary.
Woo.
So, some
Bye.
add an emotional CTA there. I don't have anything to say. Someone take this mic out of my face.